Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I want to present my seminar proposal entitled How I Taught Procedure Text in Teaching Reading. So first of all, I want to introduce myself first. My name is Fatima Azara. I am from English Language Study Program, Lambung Mangkurat University. I want to thank to my lecturer, Miss Dini Nur Arini, who allowed me to present my seminar proposal. In this occasion, I will discuss three chapters. The first chapter is introduction, the second chapter is literature review, and the last is methodology. So without any further ado, I will discuss the introduction. In introduction, I divide into four parts. The first part is the teaching context. So in teaching language, there are four skills that will helpful to learn English. So the first is reading, then listening, speaking, and writing. So reading is the basic skill to learn another skill. Why? Because when you start to write, you need to read first. You need to read the material so you can write the written form. For the example, when you want to answer the listening question, you need to read the possible answer first. Then, when you want to make a transcript for speaking class, you need to read the transcript first. That's why reading is very important in very basic skill before you learn another skill. Move to the second, there is study problems. The first problems is student difficulties to understanding the sequence of the process described in procedure text. So when students learn the procedure text, students are lack to choose the right word or the right vocabularies to describe a situation or instruction in procedure text. And the second problems is the media in learning didn't make students interested. So the way teacher choose the media is very important to make students interested and attract to the material. And the last problems is student low motivation to learn because the procedure text is just like the teacher give you a text, then you just answer the question about the text. It's kind of boring. So move to the next is 3D purposes. So the aims of this research are the teacher can choose the best media to teach. So we know the media is a lot and so many. So the teacher, I hope this research will help the teacher to choose the best media and to make better teaching and learning activity and to solve students' problem to learn. Like I said before, students have low motivation to learn procedure text. So I hope this research can help students to attract and to interested to the material. And this research have a contribution especially for teacher, pre-service teachers, students, and research. For a teacher, this research will enrich the teacher way to teaching students. And for the free service teacher to give information about the media because the free service teacher need to know and should to know what is the media, the function of media, and how the media itself. And for students, if I hope this research can make students find the way they interested with the material. And for the researcher, I think it will help me to be the information if I will make another research. So that was for the introduction. Then move to the chapter 2, it was literature review. The first is theoretical framework. In theoretical framework, there are 7 parts. The first is teaching and learning process. According to Brown, teaching cannot define apart from learning. So teaching is guiding and facilitating learning. So if there is no teaching, there's also not learning. And the next is reading comprehension. Like I said before, reading is a basic skill before you learn another skill. So, ladies and gentlemen, reading is very important, but also reading is difficult and complicated. Why it's complicated? Because you are not only reading, but also need to understand and got the whole meaning of the text or of the material. Then next is procedure text. The definition of procedure text is, according to Anderson and Anderson, the procedure text is contained about recipes, itineraries, instruction, manuals, and direction. That is the definition of procedure text. And for the structure, there are title, ingredients or material, and instruction or step. For the language features, the procedure text use technical language, and the sentence begin with the verb one, and the use of word, time words or number, and the use of adverbs. That's all for the procedure. Next is the media. Media is a tool to make the learning and teaching process more easier for teacher and students. The function itself is the submission that deliver with media becomes standardized, so the students will receive the same material. And to make the teaching and learning activity interesting, interactive, and also improve teaching quality for the teachers. And move to the next is picture series. Picture series is a kind of picture that has a series of an object or situation explained by pictures. So the pictures were related one to another to describe an action or an activity or instruction. Then move to the application of teaching reading procedure through picture series. So in the classroom, teacher will ask students to give an idea related to the material, especially procedure text, and teacher will give some pictures that not in order. So students will arrange the picture according to the text that will give by the teacher. So after the students arrange the picture based on the text that the teacher gave, then the teacher will ask the students to find unfamiliar words. Then they will discuss about the meaning about the word. Then after 2 weeks learn about procedure text, they will give a post test or a test. That's for the application of teaching reading procedure text through the picture series. And the last in theoretical framework is previous study. In this research, the previous study is the effectiveness of teaching writing through picture series. So the result from the previous study is there is significant result from the pre-test and the post-test. They find that teaching with no picture series is lower than using picture series because the learning will be more attractive and interesting for the students, and also they will more understand about the material if they see the picture series. Picture series itself will help students to find words that will match with the procedure. Then the picture will help students give a clue to find the vocabulary. That's all for the theoretical framework. Move to the conceptual review. There are some problems in teaching reading. English teachers sometimes find some difficulty selecting appropriate media, like I said before, to attract students. The researcher found that media to present the procedure text in students' book are not interesting. Therefore, this makes students less motivated to learn reading, especially procedure text. That's why in learning and teaching procedure text, it's using media, that is picture series. For the last chapter, chapter 3, methodology research. There are 4 parts. The first is the design of the research. So in this research, So in this research, the researcher observed what was going on in the classroom and then described the observation and how to observe it. So in this research, the researcher itself find how the picture series work in classroom. And the data of the research, the first one is even. The event is when the teacher use the picture series and teaching students in the classroom. And for the informant in this research is the English teacher in that school. And for the documents, that's all the documents that help the researcher do this research. Then the participants of this research is 32 students in 10th grade in MA Anur Rambi Uji. And the last is the research instrument. The instrument of this research was the researcher, because the researcher was descriptive research, because the researcher is the one who find out how the result and how the result before the picture series. I think that's all for my seminar proposal. Thank you for your attention. I'm sorry if there is so many mistaken. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.